family. We are here today with Matt Osterhouse talking about his pro debut. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. So we're going to chat with you a little bit about your journey and then kind of get into the exciting day. So can you start by telling us a little bit about how you got to where you are, how your journey started, kind of some of the stories of kind of how you kind of jumped through?
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of like pull way back for me, I grew up in a family where I was one of four kids, and so we all grew up playing soccer. I don't quite know why we got into soccer, but that's what we all played. And so we were always, our parents were always shuttling us to different things, different tournaments, different games. So we just grew up around the sport, along with other sports, but probably soccer the most. And so, yeah, I just continued to play. I love the sport. And at some point, I don't quite know how, but I got into refereeing. I think my dad was coaching some of like our teams, and I just got pulled in to referee scrimmages because I was there helping out. And yeah, so I got into it that way, and then at some point was like, hey, I could make money doing this, and that's always very appealing. So I got licensed. I don't really remember when, and just started refereeing for fun, just to make some money. And we were always at tournaments anyway, and so that worked out. And eventually, like, I knew my dad was a referee, and I think one or two of my siblings went through a phase of refereeing. And that was super fun. Got to referee with family, but it was just that. It was just kind of a side thing to make a little money. In 2000, and I did enjoy it. I will say, like, I was like, this is cool. I can get behind this. And so in 2008, I moved from Maryland to Florida to go to Flagler College. And so at that point, I I guess did whatever registration I needed to do in Florida to keep refereeing, and really started to referee more at a local club. But again, just on the weekends for fun. And it was at that point that the local club assigner recommended that I kind of get plugged in with the Florida Academy. And that was like just a super huge recommendation for me, because it took it from a thing of just being this fun side thing to make money to like really like learning how to referee. And I think that period of being in the Florida Academy, I learned so much about being a referee, just because you're going to these tournaments with the same group of guys and kind of a mentor coach. And that's where just a lot of growth happened. So yeah, so did the Florida Academy for a long time. And it was kind of in that space that I started refereeing college after I graduated from Flagler in 2012, but started to move up in the grades a little bit with USSF, and eventually, I think in 2016 or 2017, I'm not 100% sure, got an opportunity, I think it was a grade 6 at the time, to referee a Jacksonville Armada NASL game, just as an assistant referee. A little bit out of the blue for me, but yeah, had the game, and game went fine, and ended up getting another one. And at some point, one of those matches kind of led to more opportunities. I got, was seen by the right person at the right time. And so that led to some more opportunities and getting plugged in with the development group. And yeah, I was in the development group starting in about 2017, I think, when it started. So that's kind of a very long rambling path of how I kind of ended up kind of where I'm at currently.
Yeah, no, that was really, really helpful. When did you join NISO? I think you kind of touched on it. You said shortly after college.
Yeah, I actually think it was I'm not 100% sure. I was actually looking to try to like, when did I join this? So, but I'm pretty sure it was 2014 or 2015 because that's when I started refereeing college. Not quite sure what I was doing during that intermediate period. But yeah, so right around 2015-ish.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit about like what conferences you were working when you first started and kind of how you moved through the conferences?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember initially, like I'm part of the Florida Sun chapter here in Florida, and I think it was initially just like even like junior college games, just like running a line for junior college games. And I think in terms of like how that developed, it was just kind of year by year, season by season, developing a few more relationships with other college referees and different assigners. I remember there's been a couple times where I've worked with guys on different games who have given me a recommendation, and that's it. Yeah, and so it just kind of developed slowly over time, I think.
Nice. How do you feel the college game has helped you kind of prepare for your pro matches?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways. I think, and this obviously isn't always the case, but sometimes college matches can be kind of the Wild West compared to a pro match. Again, depends on the game, but sometimes you can have a college match where they're going 1,000 miles an hour the whole game, just nonstop decisions to make, even as an assistant referee, whether it's with misconduct or offside decisions. The pace of play can be really high a lot of the time. And so when you compare that to a pro game, a lot of times the pro games they're very challenging in a lot of ways, but sometimes they can have a little more pace to them. They'll have spells of the game where it slows down and you can kind of catch your breath. And so because college you never know what's going to get thrown at you. I really do feel like I learned a ton doing those games. And sometimes, especially back then, it's changed a little bit now. You'd rarely have comms, maybe every once in a while. So you're forced to like go back to the basics of whether in the center or as an assistant referee of making sure you have good mechanics and good eye contact. So in all of those ways, college really has prepared me to do higher level or not do professional games.
Cool. Cool. So, where were you when you found out you'd been assigned, and how, were you excited? What was going through your head?
Yeah, I distinctly remember that. So I was actually traveling from St. Augustine to Tampa, Florida to do a USL game at the time. And I got an email. I must have been at like a gas station or a rest stop, something saying like, hey, are you available to do this MLS game, Miami versus Orlando? It wasn't like you've gotten the assignment, but it was like, can you do this? And I remember being like super excited and super terrified. Um, and so I didn't answer the email until after I'd gotten through the USL game because I was like, I can't really compute this at the moment. I just need to get through, focus on the USL game. And then I remember I did respond maybe on the way home to the email saying I was available. But yeah, it was not long after kind of play had restarted after COVID. But I was also coming back from an injury. So the USL game that I was traveling to was my first game since the whole COVID break. So I was a bit surprised, to be honest. And I was like, all right. But yeah, it was definitely a feeling of really excited, but also like really nervous.
Yeah, nothing like, first game back. Okay, next game, here you go.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So, what did your preparation look like? Can you kind of take us through the week leading up to travel for the match?
Yeah. So again, being in COVID, there's a couple different variables in a typical game day. had to get in. I think it was like, maybe it's the Thursday. It was either the Wednesday or Thursday before. I think it was a Saturday game, so I think I got it. Anyway, we got in super early for the game. So I had like so much time to think about the upcoming game. Like just sitting at the hotel, not a whole lot to do. Initially in the first part of the week, it was just like making sure I have all the uniforms to do this game, sorting all those details out, and coordinating with the crew. But once we got to the hotel, there wasn't too much to do. I was able to do some work remotely and kind of do some game prep stuff from the hotel. I remember the biggest thing for me in preparation was trying to train my brain to get used to the VAR delay concept. As an assistant referee, when there's a scoring change, delaying the offside flag so VAR could take effect. And I think I've done one VAR game before that. I don't think we did VAR delay. So it was like this whole new concept I was trying to like pound into my head. So I just remember going through these like perception tests at the hotel and like visibly like or audibly like saying, delay, 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 and the right to just try to get my frame of mind. And yeah, so that was preparation, and then yeah.
So I'm going to backtrack for a second. You mentioned, getting all the uniforms. Can you like explain for the NISO members who like haven't had to deal with that process, like what you mean by that? Because you didn't get to just use your normal uniforms.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So MLS has their own kits that they use, and Pro is really good about, making sure you have all the right stuff. But for some reason, there was some issue with my shipment or something in my my uniform. So I was just trying to reach out to the right pro representative, and then eventually to the center referee on the match, and he ended up bringing the uniform for me to use. So just working through those logistics, I eventually did get the uniform shipment, and then but it was like, first things first, I got to make sure I have the right stuff.
So you had something to wear on game day. You were set. You were good.
Yeah, that would be like the worst thing. Like, I don't have the right stuff here. Yeah. So just working all those details out.
That's awesome. So what did game day look like? You already kind of mentioned you guys get in early, but what did like morning to midday, what kind of take us through that process?
Yeah. Honestly, it's nothing special. I just kind of did what I always do. Breakfast. I think we did like a crew lunch, maybe at the hotel, just to catch up. And oh yeah, that's what we did. We had just a pregame at the hotel. We were able to meet, which was good. So we did pregame, and pregame was great. I was so fortunate to work with two FIFAs were on the crew, two FIFAs, and then myself. So it's like just an incredible crew, kind of minus me, this guy who's been thrown in here. So that pregame was.
Hey, you earned your spot. You earned your spot. You're good.
Yeah. But pregame was really great and really helpful to just understand. Armando was the center referee, understand his expectations. And so, we did the pregame, and then eventually we all had our cars because of COVID. So we all drove separately to the stadium and got ready, went through the warm-ups, and then it was time.
So whistle blows. What's one thing you're never going to forget from the match, from whistle to whistle?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that game, it was Orlando versus Miami. It happened to be the first game at Miami's stadium up in Fort Lauderdale, not the stadium they're trying to build, but there were no fans there. So in a lot of ways, it's like very surreal, because I know this is a very important match. This is two MLS teams, regular season, but it's also strange because you're in this large stadium and there's no one there, and you can hear all the communication. So I think the thing that sticks out for me is just I just getting through the match. I didn't have any I honestly, it was kind of an easy match for me as an assistant referee. A lot of the action was down towards Corey's end a lot of the time, and I had a couple close decisions, which was good, and everything went smooth. I guess the thing I would say is I had an early offside decision. It was really simple, but it was really great too to like get involved in the game early. I had a situation where it's just a long ball cleared out the back. The attacker was lazy getting back on side, steps back, gets a clearance, put the flag up for offside. And those, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes in, but it's nice to like, okay, this is just a normal game. I have to do the same stuff that you do on any other game. And then getting to the end of the game and knowing that we have like put in a good performance for the game, for the teams as a crew. So that's probably what sticks out.
Well, yeah. So you talked about a little bit about, like the empty stadium feeling. Did you have that for the USL game that you had right before that as well?
There was a few fans in, I think, for the game in Tampa Bay, but it was pretty empty at that point.
So for the MLS game, did you have like, did it like it obviously felt weird, right? Different environment, but like, did you have any different ways of staying like focused and staying like attentive and reminding yourself like, hey, this is really important?
I don't think anything that like jumps out other than like even though it was empty, I knew it was still super important. And yeah, I mean, just the normal stuff to kind of stay focused, like just honestly like the basics of like, let's always stay with the second last defender. Let's keep tabs there first, and then let's check other things kind of from there. But yeah, just kind of the normal stuff to really try to stay focused.
Yeah, it was definitely a unique season, right? Like,
oh yeah,
when are we ever going to see empty stadiums again? Hopefully never.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, it was definitely the strangest of seasons.
Yeah. So now that you've had your big game day and you've kind of covered all of your journey to this point, obviously you're not done yet, but with where you are now, what's one piece of advice you would give to the Nisoa family who's aspiring to get where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that jumps out is like really take it kind of a game at a time and enjoy the relationships that you have refereeing. Like that's the thing I'm probably going to take away the most from refereeing is just all of the relationships you build with people who are trying to do their best in this like shared thing of soccer refereeing. And yeah, and so I would say like take it one game at a time. You kind of never know where the opportunities are going to come from. That was certainly been the case for me. Like definitely didn't go out to, get to be able to referee an MLS game one day and be in the pro development group for that time. So yeah, I would say like, take it a game at a time, enjoy the experiences as you go. And yeah, I think that's what I would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today. This was really valuable for the NISOA members, and they're going to really appreciate kind of getting to hear your exciting journey. 2020 was an interesting year, and it was really exciting to see so many of our members get some really great opportunities. So
yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.